Good evening. I was going to show a little video here of my manual scraper that I put together. I'm not going to make like a how to scrape video because I think there's a lot of that stuff out there already. Anything I show is going to be more along the lines of just kind of problems and scenarios I encountered and how I got through them. But this scraper would be a good example because in building this, it wasn't really my intent to reinvent the hand scraper. I don't think that was necessary. But when I got into scraping, I started out with the same scraper a lot of guys do, just the square or the rectangular bar that's got a blue handle on it, and it worked. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But me personally, for whatever reason, like when I write, like my hand cramps up and gets sore like within a few seconds. I don't know, maybe I need more bananas or something. Who knows? But anyway, I figured, I could eat more bananas, or I could just make my own scraper. So this is what I came up with. Essentially, trying to make an ergonomical scraper. Essentially, took a bar and mounted a couple handles on it and put a back plate on it, which I always found the back plate. I find it interesting that more scrapers don't have these on from the get-go, just because my introduction to scraping, I learned from Richard King and took one of his classes. Good experience, very knowledgeable guy, and a good start with it. There's a lot of this stuff where it's like you learn how to scrape, but then you also gotta know where you're scraping, why you're scraping, that kind of thing. And I think that approach is very important. And so with this, like I said, my main goal with this was just making it ergonomic. And so I'll show you kind of what this thing does here. So you got the plate goes up, gets your body here, you got two handles, and the point of this, this one's really just to guide it. This top one here, you can get some pressure on it, and that way I'm not having to hold on to the bar here. I got something a little more here, and I find this thing gives me a lot of control. It's a lot easier to get point to point across there. Downside with it is you can't bump scrape with this thing. You can't put over here and do this. So it's at least not very well. And so maybe there'll be a version 2.0 coming up. I don't know. But anyway, I haven't really blew this up yet. But this surface I'm still working on. It's still getting the point count up, and it's still a little bit high in the back, which I keep waffling whether I'm going to actually get it where it needs to be or just live with it. But really, I just need to get fixed. But anyway, it's just the standard crisscross kind of body push scraping. I'm just kind of shooting at random here, but just kind of showing what I'm doing here. So you can see you're scraping with your body and putting a little bit of pressure on the top here, kind of doing point to point. If I was roughing it, you could also do the back and forth approach. But anyway, I used this for a while. Well, when I say a while, I mean I started doing this about 2 years ago. So no, not a while. But eventually I got tired, doing this, and I decided I got enough projects I got to scrape, and I eventually went ahead and bought an actual power scraper, a Biax. And phenomenal difference. I mean, like I said, this thing doesn't tire you out nearly as much as my hands don't get sore, which is the main purpose why I made it. But ultimately, the Biax is just so much faster. But even still, I've heard a lot of guys say it's easier to get to, like, when you're trying to get down to like 40 points per inch, to get those last little specs just by manually doing them. I might go back to this for that. But otherwise, I think most of my scraping I'll be doing by power. But anyway, if any of you have similar thing where, I don't know, where the manual scraping is tiring you out and you can't quite bring yourself to, drop $2,000 on a scraper or whatever you can get a power scraper for, this is another way you can do it. Just a couple handles. I set them on like these 45-degree split bushings, so you can actually kind of adjust the angle of them if you want. Same thing with the plate. You can kind of see it's adjustable. This thing's actually pretty solid. Like it's not very flimsy. You do have a bit of give to it, so you can get some kind of spring to it, but most of that's going to be in your blade here, not back here. So anyway, that's it.